It was Christmas Eve, and Daniel Martinez, a construction worker, was wiping snow from his boots as he entered his small apartment. The day had been hard, and the holiday felt hollow this year. His 7-year-old daughter, Sophia, was watching the lights on their tiny Christmas tree. Everything felt smaller lately. "Daddy, can we make hot chocolate?" she asked, her eyes shining with innocence. As Daniel put water on the stove, he heard crying from outside. He looked out the window and saw 2 small boys, identical twins, huddled by the dumpsters in the freezing snow. Their thin jackets offered no protection from the biting cold. Without a second thought, Daniel grabbed his coat and rushed outside. "Hey, it's okay," he said softly, kneeling in the slush. "Where are your parents?" The boys, shivering violently, could only sob. One of them managed to whisper, "Mommy left. She said wait, but it's so cold." Daniel's heart broke. He scooped both boys into his arms and carried them inside. He wrapped the twins, Ethan and Evan, in every blanket he had, while Sophia, with a child's pure kindness, brought them her stuffed animals. The boys slowly warmed up, sipping hot chocolate. "Our mommy said she had to go inside for a meeting," Ethan explained. "She told us to wait in the car, but she didn't come back." Daniel felt a surge of anger. What kind of mother would do that? But he pushed it down. The boys needed safety, not more fear. "Well, you're safe now," he assured them. "You'll stay here tonight. We'll find your mum in the morning." Sophia insisted the twins sleep in her bed while she took the couch. Watching his daughter, who had so little, share so freely, filled Daniel with a mixture of pride and heartbreak. That night, Daniel sat at his kitchen table, conflicted. The boys' clothes were expensive. This wasn't neglect from poverty. This was something else. The next morning, Christmas Day, the apartment was filled with the sound of children's laughter. Sophia was teaching the twins how to make paper snowflakes from old newspapers. "Daddy, can they stay for Christmas?" she asked. Daniel looked at the few small gifts under the tree, all he could afford for Sophia. "Of course they can stay," he said, his heart aching. The joy on the boys' faces was a gift in itself. As they shared the meager presents, Evan said, "Our mommy works all the time. She's very busy. Our daddy died." Understanding washed over Daniel, a single widowed mother, overwhelmed. His own wife had left him years ago, unable to handle their financial struggles. He knew the weight of parenting alone. He made pancakes from his last box of mix, stretching it to feed them all. After breakfast, he started calling hospitals. On the 5th call, a receptionist recognized his description of the boys. "Oh my God! A woman came in last night in hysterics looking for twin boys. She's still here." Daniel bundled the children into his truck and drove to the hospital. In the lobby, a woman in a power suit, her face a mask of grief, was pacing back and forth. When she saw the boys, she screamed their names, dropping her phone and running to them. They collapsed into a sobbing heap on the floor. After a few moments, the woman, Victoria Hartwell, looked up at Daniel. Her eyes filled with more gratitude than he'd ever seen. "You found them. You saved them," she cried. "I was in an emergency surgery. I'm a surgeon. I told my assistant to watch them, but he got called away. When I came out 6 hours later, they were gone." Her voice broke. "They're safe," Daniel repeated gently. "That's all that matters." Victoria looked at Daniel's work-worn clothes and Sophia's patched jacket. "How can I ever repay you?" she asked. "I don't want money," Daniel said firmly. "What's your name?" she asked. "Daniel Martinez. I'm a construction worker for Hartwell Construction." He paused, the name suddenly clicking. "Wait. Hartwell?" Victoria's smile was sad. "My late husband's company. I just took over as CEO. That meeting, it was my first board meeting." The irony was staggering. He worked for her, and he'd been terrified of being laid off by the new CEO known for cutting costs. "Mr. Martinez, Victoria said, her voice shaking. "I owe you everything. Please come to my office after the holiday. I want to properly thank you." Daniel agreed, seeing the desperate need in her eyes to express her gratitude. 3 days later, he stood in her enormous office. "I'm offering you a position as a project supervisor," she said, naming a salary that would triple his income. When he protested that he wasn't qualified, she stopped him. "Mr. Martinez, you showed more leadership and compassion in one night than most of my managers show in a year. You kept my children alive. You fed them from your own pantry when you had almost nothing. You did what a good man does. And I need good men working for me." Daniel was speechless. That Christmas Eve he thought he had nothing to give. But by offering simple kindness, he changed not only his own family's life, but the life of the woman who was, by a twist of fate, his new boss. It turned out to be the richest Christmas he'd ever had. Thank you for watching our story today. If it touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that we hope will brighten your day. We'll see you next time.